I
Yeah.
help people get to the core of who they are, because I had to get to the core of who I am.
Yeah.
Even like with medical things that have happened in the past, it's around the core of me. Even with businesses that I've owned, it's the core of me.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to
It's,
do with
it's
the title.
yeah, it's different for different individual, right?
Mhm.
So each individual have like their different opinions and different way to think about their life. Some want to call themselves an entrepreneur, but they're doing so many other things, giving charity, helping in the community, doing political things. So
Yeah.
yeah, and some people like want to be called so many things. Like I want to call myself entrepreneur, investor, and probably now podcaster. So
Yes,
life
so
leads to one and
true.
another. And now recently become a dad. So
Yes.
husband, dad as well. So identity, I think, is a different way, like how people differentiate themselves, and it's a
Yeah.
individual thing. So in terms of
Oh,
like
very
a
much.
yeah, in terms of like a yourself, how do you describe yourself, your identity, and when did you find out yourself? Like this is me, this is why I need to be doing.
Yeah. Well, I always dig in. I keep digging deeper every day. So it's definitely a work in progress. There wasn't like an aha moment, you
Yeah,
know? But, and back to what you were saying, yes, we wear many hats, but it's the core of who we are.
yeah,
So the core of who I am is I'm an encourager, I'm an achiever, I'm
mm,
persistent, I'm driven. So many different attributes, a listener, a space holder.
yeah,
There's so many different, back to the hats, so many different titles we give ourselves, like you, dad, entrepreneur,
yeah,
podcaster, finance, like so many things. But there's a core of you that's never going to shift, and that you're going to take that core in every position that you
yeah,
have.
yeah. Still trying to find out the identity myself. Like I know I'm doing businesses, I know I'm investing, I know being a husband, I know being a dad, but I want people knowing me for something else, and I don't know how to call it. Like I want to make impact in people's life. So I don't want to call myself as a life coach either. I'm not a motivational speaker, but I think it's specifically. So still trying to figuring out who I am. But I know this is a journey. That's why rather than me creating, I'm just building. So building, learning from each other. Like you as a guest on this podcast, learning from you. So all of our guests in future they're coming, and past I did learning from each other all the time, doing business with the person, learning from them. I'm learning from my little boy as well, how his brain works, how he's processing things. So many ways to find out like who we are. And I think it's not like a one day process on finding out. It's a lifelong thing. Even though people I see and talk to 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old, and they don't even know who they are, even though they retired from themselves, still figuring out who am I, why I need to be doing with their life.
Yeah.
They waste their money, they waste their time. They're sometimes watching a TV in the 60s and just retire. And I think like you got so many opportunity to do or contribute in some way or another. Some people do with the money, some people with the voice, some people help the community, society. Some people couldn't find out like who they are, what they need to be doing. And I think it's most important thing like you working on this topic, like identify like your life, like who you are, what you need to be doing and design it. And coming to your point, are we do you think like we are in control of designing our identity, who we are, or like we are born with it?
Little both.
Both. Can you explain a little bit? I'm
Yeah.
curious to know that.
I know, right? I feel like everyone has their own, I'm going to call them nuggets, that they were
Mm,
born with to share, their own abilities. So, yes, when we're born, our subconscious mind is wide open. So, it's going to take in whatever's around us.
yeah.
But I do believe we do have innate abilities that strengthen us as an individual. And then
Yeah.
as we grow up, that subconscious mind takes in whatever's around us. But then as we get to, you know, start being an elementary age kid, middle school,
Mm,
things of that nature, growing up in school, the conscious mind starts to form, and then you can make those choices.
Yeah.
So then it goes back to, what were my foundations as a kid?
Yeah.
What were the truths I was told? What are some lies that I was told? And it's getting rid of some of those lies, those old habitual ways of thinking that aren't serving you, that
Mm,
shadow the natural abilities, that shadow
definitely.
that natural talent and those dreams. And I feel like, too, it's so fun to watch people go after their purpose.
Yeah.
First of all, define it, but then go after it, because you see them light up. And when we dig into the core of it, it goes back to childhood.
Mm,
It goes back to prior to them ever educating themselves.
yeah.
But that's why I feel like, to a degree, we're born with it.
Yeah.
Do I have proof? No. Belief? Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting point. For me, like, I'm in a similar situation, but still trying to figure it out. Like I said, I'm still learning on this thing. Like, I think myself, I was born with like ability to do business because I don't like people telling me off on if I'm working for some kind of job. I wouldn't love it. I wouldn't wake up in the morning, even though it's a Monday morning or Thursday morning or Friday morning. Still, I feel like I'm in a kind of jail because I worked for people about 3.5 years of my life, age between 16 to 19. When I first started my business with 19, that was like a restaurant business with my brother. And this is it. So I realized like this is not something I can do. This is not my identity, like being an employee and working in a job and then become a teacher on the side. Like I thought this is not going to be a job, it could be fun. I was 22, I got a job, 6 months I'm in, I realized still again, same environment, even though it doesn't feel like a job, then there is a policies there, there's procedures there, there is someone above you, there is a deputy head teacher, there is a board members. I like this is not something I want to do. Even though I don't want to be in a corporate ladder, I don't want to be big corporation. I don't want to build a big business on $1 billion and hire like an investor and bringing on investor and they'll be managing me and I could be the CEO, I could be the founder, but eventually someone's going to tell me what to do or not to do. I'd rather build $1 million business and I'm happy with it because I got my own freedom. Sometimes I want to work, sometimes I don't want to work, sometimes this is need to be changed and I take the responsibility.